Change course for a second because more utility companies are warming up to the idea of solar power. And with us right now is Julia Hamm, Executive Director of the Solar Electric Power Association. Julia, it's a pleasure to have you with us on the program. You, of course, represent the solar power industry, so we'll take that right up front. I want you to tell me about large-scale solar power plants. And I wanted you to tell me the relative cost of electricity generated by a utility-sized power plant from solar versus, say, coal, nuclear, or natural gas.
Well, sure. It's really exciting because I think historically when people have thought about solar power, they've thought about rooftop systems, small solar panels on a home roof or a business roof. What we're seeing in the marketplace is a real trend towards not only growth in that segment of the market, but also major growth in the large-scale solar power plants, largely driven by the electric utilities. And so, as most people know, solar power today is still generally more expensive than some of those traditional generation options you mentioned. Well, but what we're seeing in the marketplace is actually the cost of all of those other options that you mentioned are all now very quickly increasing, and large solar power plants are continuing to decrease in cost.
So you say that it's coming together. So you're becoming more competitive because your costs are going down and the alternative, nuke, coal, natural gas, they're going up. I want to quote for you from Pacific Gas and Electric. They're going to buy power from two of the world's largest solar power plants. And the gentleman who runs PG&E, he says that the cost of this solar power is now roughly equivalent with the power generated by natural gas. So there's a rough equivalency there. But I put it to you, it wouldn't be a natural equivalency without the tax subsidies offered to your industry.
Well, really when you dig deep enough, every electricity generation resource is receiving some kind of subsidy. I think what happens with solar energy is because the subsidies that it's receiving are in the form of a federal tax credit in many cases, that incentive is just much more transparent to the general public than some of the subsidies that aren't as obvious to the average consumer for the other generation resources.
Okay, Julia Hamm, we appreciate you being with us, representing the solar power industry. Good representation. We appreciate it. Thanks very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Stuart.